Have you ever noticed that little jar of white pepper sitting beside the black one in your spice rack and thought, wait, aren't they the same thing? After all, they both come from peppercorns. So why do chefs sometimes insist on using one instead of the other? Today we're diving into the surprising world of pepper. Yes, the humble black and white specks that have shaped entire trade routes, sparked wars, and changed the way we eat. We'll explore white pepper versus black pepper, how they're made, how they taste, why one's darker and stronger while the other's lighter and more delicate, and which dishes they actually belong in. By the end of this, you'll never look at that simple sprinkle of pepper the same way again. Let's get into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. Let's start with the basics. Both white and black pepper come from the same plant, the Piper nigrum, a flowering vine native to the tropical regions of South India. The fruits of this plant are called peppercorns. Now here's where it gets interesting. The difference between white and black pepper doesn't come from the plant itself, it comes from how the peppercorns are processed. Think of it like coffee beans. Same origin, but how they're roasted changes everything. The same goes for peppercorns. The processing determines not just the color, but also the flavor, aroma, and even the type of heat they bring to your food. Let's begin with black pepper, the one we're most familiar with. Black peppercorns are made from unripe green berries that are picked straight from the vine. After harvesting, they're briefly boiled and then dried in the sun. As they dry, the outer skin shrinks, darkens, and wrinkles, giving us that iconic rough black shell we all recognize. This outer layer is where most of black pepper's complex aroma and flavor come from. It carries earthy, woody, slightly citrusy notes, and that sharp, nose-tingling spice that wakes up your food. That's why black pepper is often described as having a bold, punchy flavor. It's not just spicy, it's full-bodied. It hits your taste buds, your nose, and sometimes even your eyes if you go too heavy with the grinder. Now, let's talk about white pepper, the pale cousin that's often misunderstood. White pepper actually starts out exactly the same way as black pepper, as unripe green berries from the Piper nigrum plant, but instead of drying them right away, the outer skin is removed. This is done through a process called retting. The pepper berries are soaked in water for about a week, which softens the outer fruit layer. Once it loosens, it's rubbed off, leaving just the smooth, pale seed inside. That seed is then dried, and voila, white pepper. The removal of the skin makes a huge difference. It strips away many of the aromatic oils and volatile compounds that make black pepper so fragrant. What's left is a more mellow and earthy flavor. Still peppery, but with a mustier, slightly fermented undertone. So how do they actually taste different? If black pepper is like a rock concert, loud, energetic, and full of attitude, white pepper is like smooth jazz, subtle, controlled, and precise. Black pepper hits you with heat and complexity, that sharp bite and lingering aroma. It's vibrant and almost floral. White pepper, on the other hand, is softer but sneakier. Its spiciness comes later, hitting the back of your throat instead of your tongue. And because it's less aromatic, it often adds heat without overwhelming the dish. This is why you'll often see white pepper used in delicate dishes, like creamy soups, mashed potatoes, white sauces, or Chinese cuisine. Anywhere you want peppery heat without those little black specks showing up. Black pepper, meanwhile, is the go-to for bold dishes, grilled meats, stews, roasted vegetables, and basically anything that benefits from that aromatic punch. Believe it or not, A big reason for choosing one over the other isn't taste, it's appearance. In Western cooking, chefs often use white peppers simply because they don't want black flecks showing up in light-colored dishes. Imagine a silky bechamel sauce or a creamy potato soup. Black dots would just ruin the aesthetic. In Asian cuisine, especially in Chinese and Vietnamese cooking, white pepper is actually more traditional. The subtle, earthy spice complements soy-based sauces, broths, and stir-fries better than black pepper's bold aroma. So in a way, white pepper isn't just a lighter version of black pepper. It's a spice with its own cultural personality. Across the world, different cuisines have their own preferences. In European kitchens, black pepper reigns supreme. It's the finishing touch on everything, from steak to pasta to eggs. Even ancient Romans were obsessed with it. Black pepper was once so valuable, it was used as currency. In contrast, East and Southeast Asian cuisines often lean toward white pepper. In Chinese cooking, it's used to season hot and sour soup, fried rice, and even congee. In Thai cuisine, it appears in marinades and noodle dishes. And in French cuisine, white pepper is the quiet hero behind classic sauces like veloute or bechamel. It's fascinating how the same plant took on two distinct identities across cultures, one bold and aromatic, the other subtle and refined. So, which one's better? White or black? Well, the answer depends on what you're cooking. If you want bold, aromatic heat with a burst of fragrance, go with black pepper. It's the crowd pleaser, the spice that makes everything taste just a little more alive. If you want something cleaner, milder, and visually discreet, reach for white pepper. It's the refined touch that hides in the background but still makes a difference. They're not rivals, they're siblings with different personalities. The real magic comes from knowing when to use each. So the next time you reach for that pepper grinder, take a second to think about it. Those tiny black or white granules have traveled thousands of miles, changed economies, and spiced up food for over 2,000 years. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.